Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our March product update webinar. I'm Rosalie. Thanks for joining. We'll wait a couple of seconds. Hi, Yannick. All right. Shall we get started? Yes. All right. So let's go to the next slide. All right. So hi. Yes, I'm Rosalie. As always, we'll be hosting today's webinars, and we also have Natalie in the chat and Yannick. Hi, Yannick.
Hi, Jose. Exciting webinar. I've told you in one previous webinar on AI that it's the era of creativity. And let's say we have highly motivated people and the pace of innovation is crazy. So yeah, excited about this webinar.
All right. And as I mentioned, Natalie is with us too, so feel free to drop questions anytime in the chat or use the Q&A. She'll be able to answer you. And as always, make sure you participate in our polls and use the reaction button at the bottom of your screens. And as always, let's start with a little poll quickly. All right, so I'll leave this on the side. We want to know if this is your first client webinar or not. And today we have a very straightforward agenda. So we'll talk about our new client community and then what's new in 51.3. Thank you everyone for answering. I think we have a lot of people that are usuals that attend every month with us today, Yannick.
Only two, I think it's only a two agenda point, but it's one of the busiest or the most, the biggest release and showcase of feature we had in a long time. So.
It's a good one to join. So thanks for coming back and thanks for joining us if this is your first time. All right,
Absolutely.
so perfect. Let's go back there. Okay, so yes, as you can see on the screen, we have a new home, the Feature Hub. Uh, before we jump in the project, like we mentioned, we want to give you a sneak peek into our new community, which you can see some screenshots of here. Some of you may have seen it already because we have some links out there that lead to different portions. This is going to change the way you interact with our release notes, how you find your information, and how you share your feedback with us. So we'll spend a few minutes there, and then we'll jump into the demo for 51.3. Yannick, do you want to start by
Yes.
showing us what's new on that release notes page?
Yeah, and we're gonna start by the release note, but this entire community, it's been built for you guys, for our customer, to really simplify your onboarding, to make sure that you can learn and you can use the functionality as you can use them as fast as possible and make your team use them as fast as possible. So this is what has been put behind this, and the idea is that we remove barriers in terms of communication with you. So you will see later on, there's a ton of innovation in regards of how we're going to be sharing comments and ideas across this. But to start, let's go through the release notes. So in the menu, you have a link. In that release note on the left side, you have the breadcrumb of all the different release items we add. One of the key one that I like is the Workspace avatar drag and drop. This one here. Oops, I've double clicked. I'm very sorry. And this one here, that avatar, so you can scroll through the release notes and you will see on top that there's a menu that's going to help you as well for searching. You're going to be able to, if I'm going back up, to expand all or collapse all the different releases, and there's going to be a new way of consuming that information. And Rosalie, I'm sure you're going to love this. You can share pretty much everything within this community. You can share it and send it to your colleague through social or just copying the link.
Nice.
Um, there's a ton of things, I guess, for you, Rosalie, that you're excited about. You want to discuss maybe the upgrades and the
Yeah.
links here?
Yeah, so a couple of things that are a nice addition that should have been there for a while, but they're not there. So when you log in, if you're logged into a community, it's going to tell you which version you're on, which is very useful. A lot of people are asking us, how do I know which version I'm on? There it is. And with that comes this nice toggle, what's new since my version, that you can just turn on, and it's going to pop all the release notes since that, well, in our case, 51.2.5, but everything from your current version. You can show just the hot features only. You can show only upgrade consideration, very useful for the admins. On the left side, this menu that is now expanded, you can see like all the details, but Yannick, if you go up and just go up a little bit on the menu on the left, if people want to see all the releases, they can see like the dates. I don't know where. Oh, maybe that's hidden. I think it's because it's expanded, the left menu with all the the details.
Which one? Ah, here on the left,
Yeah,
Clara.
that one. Yeah.
I give, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
perfect. Yeah, so you can see on the left side all the major releases. You can see with the dates as well. So some people don't know like how old this version is. Well, it tells you right there. So a couple of things like that, the collapse expand menu, yeah, on the left. So you can really play with that and should be useful for everybody. I think that's the main thing about this one. And we've added a direct link to how to upgrade. So there's a specific article how to do that. Even if it's like your fourth time doing it, people still wonder how to upgrade. So you have that link right away. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So under all this, that's a new revamp of all our documentation. Okay. So those release, those are the last one in those specific format that you see here. Moving forward across the board, we are changing the way that we are creating documentation and we're servicing documentation for you. And this goes with the feature hub or the feature browser, what we're seeing here. So in here, we've broken down our software based on feature and feature categories. So you can see here that we have plenty. This is a sneak peek to next week announcement, but we do have all our functionality are delivered here, such as, for example, the Snap Workspace. Those are functionality within the system. You can see them at card or in a list format. As we saw before, pretty much everywhere in the system you can search. And when you're going to open those, you're going to see different format of documentation depending on your use case. You're going to land on the spotlight. The spotlight is the marketing pitch of the feature. It's no fluff. It's what it does, but it's a marketing business angle, what it's going to help you address in terms of performance gain and some guidance. Key benefits for project manager in this case, the traditional way with Snap's Workspace, what's going to be. So it's a bit more business oriented, but it's giving you really a good highlight. So this is a good one to share to colleague if you want to get people excited. We also have a quick start, so we get things started. So just to make sure that you understand the feature. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to be able to create a snapshot, see your baseline tracking. So this is kind of our quick start. We have a full reference guide. So within the Snap Workspace, you can do a lot, as you guys know, and all those sub features have been broken down. And if you are interested to understand how the SPI is calculated on the Snap Workspace, you can just click on it. It's going to bring you to that section. It gives you a little bit an idea of what it is used for, and then it gives you the formula that is being calculated on. Okay, so you might see, and this is something we're going to go deeper again next week with our press release, but you might see there's a bubble here showing up, meaning that this is a direct way for you guys now to share information. And if, let's say, you want more detail about, let's say, I want to move to the progress, I want to have more details, you can directly click on this bubble and leave us a comment. And as of next week, guess who's going to be reading those comments? It's not just going to be Rosalie and I, it's going to be other people from the team. So we're going to be talking about this later on, but this is a direct communication on our documentation. So please feel free to leave us some comment if you want us to improve stuff across our community documentation-wise.
It's missing information.
There's the admin guide, the release note for that specific features, listing exactly what's been delivered. And sometimes there's a FAQ too. And you will see from the feature browser there when there's an orange light, it means that the documentation is still a work in progress. And you're welcome to leave some comments if you find anything misleading. And we're going to automatically create it. This documentation is being created and updated automatically with our friends, the AI.
Yeah, and just to mention, like we haven't done all the documentation from the old community, but it's a work in progress. So if there's any documentation you don't find in the new community and you want us to prioritize, like feel free to let us know as well. We can do that one next.
Cool thing is that Clara is now binded to that to the newest documentation. So what's that? in the latest release. So you can still talk to Clara to get more information about direct communication. And if you want to dig deeper into the different functionality, you can easily have a recap showing up. I'm impressed by the speed of all those agent force. Seriously, they're going very well. Yeah, hopefully it's going to stay the same for the rest of the demo. But yeah, it's going very well in terms of all our communication with those agents.
We have a question, Yannick. Someone is asking if you will see your history of comments or other users' comments.
Yes, so
Regarding that.
this we're gonna get a bit deeper, but if you just hit that bell, you're gonna have it. We are trying to gamify even this. We don't give goodies yet, but I'm expecting that there's going to be goodies basket available for the people that are using the platform. So yes, you're gonna see that history. We're tracking it. So
But if Bobby leaves a comment, will he see Johnny from another company's comments as well in the...
yes, it's a community that everybody sees what the others are doing. Absolutely.
Perfect. So disclaimer, if you have any private question you want to ask or mention, don't use the comments.
This is public stuff. This is crowdsourcing, but this
Yeah.
is all public stuff. And the ideology behind it is that we can help each other grow. So that's the concept.
Yep. Perfect. And then for the last tab that we want to show, and then you can explore all the other tabs afterwards, but we want to chat a little bit about the idea exchange tab.
Talking about growing, yeah.
I've been very annoying to the whole team about this one. So I'm glad it's there now. So this ideas section, just to be very clear, as of now, you can kind of forget about the old ideas section and the old community, and this is the one we'll be using moving forward. So it's a brand new way to submit, track, vote on your ideas going forward. So if you have an idea, you just hit the share your idea button. You type it in, you submit it, and then the idea is going to populate on this page. So you can see right now there's 29 ideas. And then when you click on an idea, yeah, let me just see. If you click on an idea, let's say the Snap Workspace, you can vote on it. So you just click the vote button. You can add comments as well. So there can be a whole discussion about this. You can share it using the QR code that we've seen or that button on the top right corner. So ideally, you submit your idea, use the share button, share it with all your colleagues, and then all your colleagues vote. Very easy. And then if you get 20 votes or more, then it gets developed. I think it's 20. I don't know if that's...
And there's a disclaimer around that one, but yes.
That's the idea. And what's really nice as well is once you voted, which we didn't have in the old community, you can track what you've submitted. So my ideas would show all the ideas you submitted, then my votes, all the ones you voted for. And at any time, you can see the progress. Like if it's in development, you can see as well if there's more votes, if there's some comments. So much easier to track that. And I think we've dropped a link in the chat for that. If you're worried that your ideas from the previous community have all disappeared, don't worry. We've already added all of those here. And after the webinar in the next weeks or so, I'll be sharing the links to all of these for the people that already voted. So nothing is lost and you can make sure you continue following those up and sharing them. And yeah, as I mentioned, was there anything else? Yeah, there's a couple of these filtering options. You can sort.
No, I was reading ideas. There's some good ones.
I don't. So you can look at something useful. You can search as well. So if you're interested in a Snap specifically, you can search for Snap and then it's going to pop all the specific feature requests related to that. So it's just much faster to look for info, especially because we expect a lot of people to submit ideas. So the search function will get handy there. Yeah, I think that's it for that section.
Yeah, I think just to if you guys are interested with the help of our partners, this is a completely Salesforce product. It's the evolution of a Salesforce community. It's an experience cloud based on the LWR, if we want it to be technical community, and it's basing on LWC components. So if there's some techie in the group, this is very exciting stuff. You can definitely build some of those yourself or have one of our partners, or we're happy to guide you as well with our recipes.
Have a look after the webinar. Everybody's going to be clicking around everywhere, and then I'm sure they'll reach out if they want to set something up like this. And we're curious. Of course, you can go and click on all the buttons. You'll see some sections are still in progress. We'll share more updates on that moving forward. But in the meantime, we just wanted to know if there's a section you're excited to check out here. everything, nothing, or some of these we mentioned. So I'll just leave the poll on the side, and then we'll move on to the demo of version 51.3. I don't
Yeah, I should have
go
started.
back
We
to the deck. Yeah.
already made some. I
All
stole the
right.
show already. Sorry about that.
Good news, Yannick. At least nobody yet has answered. They're not interested in looking anything up. So they're excited about something. Nobody answered nothing for what they want to explore in the
That's
community.
good.
So all right. Okay. So let me end the poll. Perfect. Thanks. Yeah, so for 51.3, we have 4 upgrade consideration, mostly around the integrations and the Kanban that we'll just briefly mention. Again, very easy way to filter these out afterwards. And then we have quite a lot to cover on this release. It's one of the most jam-packed. It's all little UI things mostly, but all super useful. So we'll get started, Yannick, with our timesheet related ones, which I think that's the biggest piece of 51.3, to be honest.
Yeah, in terms of look and feel, we have a new and improved. So without further ado, this is the new My Timesheet look. So it's really, we've streamlined it in terms of remove some of the clutter that we had. If you see here, you only see comments bubble for the hours that you have. In the past, you had comments bubble everywhere. The color coding, we've been playing with this, and some of those are configurable within your parameter. But you unify the look. So you have your My Timesheet, your utilization, and your log hour here on top. You have your bottom part as well that's are color coded. When you're taking vacation or time off, you can see it's all purple in this one. We have an underline here or a line on top of the today's date. So this is today. So we can easily situate and locate ourselves.
That's
You
my
can see as
favorite one.
well. I'm sorry, what was that?
Today is my favorite one. Often you forget which day you're on.
Which day am I? And you can also note that there's a lot less button in here. We've moved some of those button here directly from that gear icon. You can still do our copy from schedules directly from here. To add your different line, you can refresh and easily move around. If we are looking as well as in the comment mode, we've also revamped the look and feel of that comment mode, and we've added a functionality in the fact that you can add rows and you can edit some of those rows. So if I want to just, let's say, log some hours on my phase 2 prep, 2 hours of prep, I can just go ahead and do this. And yeah, so we've bonified that comment, edit comment mode. Let me revert back and let me just as well toggle the calendar. So if I want to add the calendar, I can just easily add the calendar at the bottom. And you can see that again, I have some that phase 2 planning stuff that maybe I want to add to my timesheet. So let me just select exactly the same task as before. I'm going to add this as a line. And bear with me a second. I'm going to do the exact same thing for this specific line too. So now I have those 3 lines that are being showing in my time, and you can see they're all different lines. So this has been bothering some of you guys because you can end up with a lot of lines, including Rosalie, when you're using our time and start timers or stop clock. So now you can easily group. So you can see that we have that icon here on the left that can easily allow me to group. Let me just remove the calendar. So you can now see that, for example, I have my 3 lines around those tasks. That one I've just saved, the other 2 are not saved yet, they're in yellow. They all grouped. So you can easily expand and group as well from within those 2 components. So hopefully this is gonna help you out in terms of figure out what is happening and where you're logging your hours instead of doing manual calculation.
These are just all excuses that we're just trying to remove all the excuses for not logging time. So we're adding all these. So now there's no more no more excuse. I know the comment mode, the editing on the comment mode was one that a lot of people asked for and it was up for voting. So happy that one got in. And for those of you that were looking at the calendar that Yannick was showing and have no idea how that ended up there, Probably you're an older version, but since January, you can integrate my timesheet with Microsoft or Google. So if you want that, you just need to make sure to upgrade and you have to set that up. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack just in that small demo we just did.
All right. So timesheet, we're good. And I think we can move on to resource management side. Two small things.
Resource planner.
Yep.
You go back. So there's two things. So group by role, sort by role, and display density on the resource planner page. Sorry, reload my page. Give me a sec. Okay. So standard view here,
Well, I
nothing
already
out of
see
the
it.
ordinary in that view to show the two different items we're talking about. One is within that group by. So we're going to be able to group by role now. Meaning that you can have your different roles and the total of hours, and you get your different people underneath on every one of your roles. So if you want to see your project in that way, your bench or your utilization within that way, you can do so. So this is one new mode that you can group by. We're going to evolve that as well because you can see that here on top the color coding is not there yet. So we haven't applied any rules for those color coding, but we're going to soon add those in. Plus you can sort with multiple ways in terms of your different role. What was the other one? Was it group
The
by role?
compact and comfy. That's my favorite one.
Yeah,
I say
compact and
everything's my
comfy.
favorite,
So
but
we've added a button here on top, display density, compact, comfy. So let's move to the standard way of doing things is what we're looking at now. But so let's me switch to comfy. So comfy, what it does, it's comfy, but for me, it's also complete because it's really telling you everything that is showing. So if you want to make sure that you are not, there's no specific filter, or if you really want to just easily switch between your representation instead of going through a menu. Let me just go back to my, what did I change? Sorry, let me just revert back to my PS team. If I want to go back and config, and if I want to display, for example, just my hours simply, if I want to sort my, and then it made me figure it out that we did have functionality or sort that I wasn't aware of. So if I want to sort by hours, total hours, you can do that directly from here too. And you can easily switch between, let's say I don't want to see my placeholder, I can just remove hide my placeholder right from here as well. Yeah, this is the comfy mode where you can easily see what's being showing what we're showing in the interface.
just want to launch a quick poll. Don't want people to fight or anything, but I'm just curious to see which mode you prefer from looking at it. And a few disclaimer, just keep in mind, again, this red little star on the preset. Anytime you change one of those buttons, just make sure you save it so it saves as a preset. And also, if you are sharing your resource planner presets with others, when they open up this menu, it's much clearer what they're looking at. So that's also facilitating the whole sharing. So it looks like, oh, majority of people, Yannick, prefer the comfy mode. Well, now you can choose.
Yeah, I love it too. It's a
It's good
great
we
way.
added it.
You have it in front of you. I love it too.
All right.
Okay, that's customer ideas, right? So this is great. Oh yeah, that's a lot of text. So let's move out of that slide and go and go into the details.
There's always a lot happening in the workspace every release. I mean, that one as well, but
Okay, so we'll send you the deck afterwards. But so what we're gonna start with, it's on the workspace side of thing. We're gonna go into editing one of our project, and we're not gonna ignore this pop-up. So this is gonna be the first feature we're gonna be looking at. So nice flashy pop-up, and it's a nice flashy functionality. You can now do undo and redo on the grid and on the again side of things. So it's our first introduction. It's been a long time coming, a very exciting feature. It's our first evolution again of this feature because it doesn't undo everything. it skips some stuff, and we will be improving those notification as well of what is being skipped within. We can look at the release note to look at the detail of it, but let me show you a few of those details. So first, you have those coach mark that we love. That's going to introduce you to those functionality. If I'm in here in that project where I've logged some of my hours a few moments ago, in that phase 2 prep, let's say I want to modify and make this bigger here on the right side, and in my estimated hours, let's say I'm going to change this to 12 hours. And those two statuses, we're gonna, let's say I'm changing it to just block so we can see the color coding. And now I'm hitting on the keyboard Control Z for undo, like a traditional undo stack. You can see no more red. Again, the 10 has reverted. And here on the right side, again, that timeline and Gantt has updated. So pretty cool.
Looks like magic to me. And I see you
It
sneak
is magic.
into you sneaked as well the bulk updating functionality in your little demo as well, which we released
There
a
you go.
couple of
Thank
releases
you.
back. So combination of all of these makes the workspace now pretty usable.
And I don't know why in this release note the undo is not as fire. Um, Let me just find it again. So that undo redo stack, but you have the list here. I just want to show you this because you have the list of what is supported now. Like
Yeah.
I said, we're gonna make it more visual from what you're not reverting back. So just be careful when using it because we're skipping on top of the thing that we cannot revert. So just be careful. But those are the things that are not tracked now, and we're gonna be adding up to the undo stack in the next few releases. Okay. Um, I'm gonna show a bunch of stuff, Rosalie, and tell me which one I'm missing. Okay, from the stats.
Okay, go for it.
We're gonna now look into the assignee columns from here. And you can see that here there's the collapse with a +2 on top for my assignee. We've
Workers too.
added that now you can expand it, and it's going to show you your entire rooster. In this specific project, it's not a big deal because there was only 3. But when you have a bigger project, when you have a bigger team, you're going to be easily be able to move things around.
If I
And
can add, if you do expand the assignee column with, this is something again you can save on your presets to make sure that if you know this project has a lot of assignee, just save it so that when you're looking at it, it's capturing that. Yep.
And in our case, for example, another, this is for me, this is my odd feature. You can now, for example, we have those two phase 2 project that's starting tomorrow. This is where I log my hours. You can see that nobody has been assigned on those 2 tasks at the bottom. So now you can just take a resource and you can just drag and drop it on the resource. So this is wonderful. And while it's saving, I can then just do the same thing from here and assign my people like this. So this for me, this is one of my favorite one. It also goes hand in hand with next week release about who else we're going to be able to assign on task. We have a surprise there for next week as well.
Yeah, and a couple of things, Yannick, if you just make the width even smaller, you can also click on the plus button and you're gonna have a pop-up of who the plus people are. Yeah, now there's
True,
just
true,
2,
true.
but yeah, if you click on that plus button, then it puts a list of everybody.
So when you have a bigger project and you have your list of everyone. And doing it's very snappy, right? Everything we do, it goes fast. Speed is of the essence, and our interface are going fast as well. Very excited and happy about this. So if you
And quick
find some
mention,
slowness, just let us know. Yeah.
if anything on the demos, often customers mention it to me, but if there's anything you see that Yannick is demoing, like a button or a column or a field that you're like, oh, I don't have this, take notes and send us a message afterwards. We can help you set this up on your view because I know it happens a lot. Like, I saw this in the webinar. I don't have this. Why? So just let us know.
Yeah, and that's also why we are redoing the community and the knowledge article, just to make sure that you're going to be able to find it, or at least you're going to be able to ask Clara, and she's going to tell you what to do and what you have to do. So, okay, so which one have we done? Undo, redo. This one is done. project agent icon, we're gonna come to it. Let's
Time tab.
yeah, time
Enhancement.
tab. Let's just do time tab and the agent. So let me go in that phase 2 prep here, and let me open up that right side panel. And you can see, just for the sake of the next step of the demo, you can see, I'm gonna delete this text here. And you can see that on the time tab, we've added few components to see, and actually, sorry, run test in my demo. I'm supposed to open up this one here.
90 hours. That looks better.
Yeah, more hours on this one. So on that time tab, we have all the hours that have been logged, but now we've introduced at the bottom some tables that summarizing by resource, but also by role. So a little bit the same thing of the timesheet where we're grouping all your rows from the same task, but now you're grouping those by role and by resources, so you can get a total instead of having to do some maths as well in your head. So that time tab is something that we've introduced.
We've added all the columns as well on the top, some columns. We added the task summary at the bottom and then the column.
True.
Yeah.
Let me go back to this. Which one was that? This one?
I think it's the resource, role, and notes column that we added there. So if there was any notes as well, before you would have to look.
In the column here, absolutely, yeah, you're right. Those
Yeah.
columns here, we've added more columns as well.
And if you had a custom field that's shown on your timesheet, like a case, for example, that column is going to show there as well. No, you can. No, we're good.
Okay, let me just, I thought I opened up the next thing. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Okay, the next one is the project agent, and I was looking for my prompt. I didn't find it there, so let me come back here. Sorry, it's one of those demo that there's a lot of different steps. Okay, this is cool. This is agent. We've mentioned that we will talk about agents in every one of our webinar, and this is the part with the snippet at the end, but this is the part. So if I press here, that small icon that's been added, if you have agents with us, or if you have one of our PS agents, you're gonna have that tab popping up, and it's a contextual tab, meaning that it's looking at that agent is looking at that phase 2 prep in that project, so it has both contexts. And let's say I want to write a nice task description for that prep task that I've created. Sometimes you want to have customer facing description. So you can see it just from that description, it created me that description, and it already updated my task details. So you saw me save it before, so it updated it right away. So this is an amazing agent to be able to talk to him and to be able to have him and interact with your task. This is the first entry of our project agent in a contextual way, either on the task by task basis, but you also have that project agent looking at the project itself instead of just looking at that each individual task. So at the end, they can still roll back and go up, but the idea is to have them in context with a single click. So this is exciting stuff from that 51.3 release.
And I think technically, like, you had the name of the task in your prompt, but you don't need the name of the task because you're already on the task, right? So you could have just written the description for that.
But it
Right.
can do a lot of things, and a lot is to be seen. Okay, coming back to the deck, now we're going to look at project analytics and project import wizard. So opening up that specific project. We've added a few, a new line or new columns of information. So task summary, so the total number of tasks, the number of open tasks and completed tasks. So it's a small update, but this we are dedicated to improve that KPI component. One, I'm not sure if it's already an idea on the idea exchange, but having it configurable based on the project type is definitely something that we would be open to do. So this is a small addition.
You can
but you
vote
have
for
a
that
task
idea
summary.
already.
I'm sure it is. So go vote for it now that you have a way to do so. This is the first one, and the other one, it's a simple thing, but if you're using Project Import Wizard, even within a project now, if you want to add some task template or add some additional project within an existing project, you can use this. And now we've added the fact that you can also look at any completed, cancel, or archive projects. So you can filter out for those and can look for those type of project right from the Project Import Wizard. Whew. That's
Yeah.
on the project side.
Moving on to the Kanban.
Kanban. Okay, so share, save preset, and the other one, and then sorting with additional fields. So same project. If I'm going back here and I'm opening up that Kanban. Now what we have, let's look at preset first because again, we have a nice coach mark telling us that, oh, I should create one of my first presets. I didn't have any, so cool preset. Let me save it. And then this is that now you can share it, right? That's the news, Rosalie. So that now we can share that preset and you can share it to the entire company, specific resources, and all our different options that we have in our other interface. First one. And then the other thing is that we've added some sort by filters. I'm not sure exactly which one. Hours log, estimated hours. I'm pretty sure those are the new
We added
ones.
name, status, priority, hours.
Yeah, so a bunch. So
At
we have
the
a
bottom.
bunch of sort by. So this way you're gonna be able to sort your card in different with different angles. You've mentioned that maybe you wanted to see some of you. You mentioned, Rosalie, that showing how to add fields on the card might be something of interest. If you want, I can take 2 seconds just to show you how to do it. So those are based on our client task, right? So if you go in setup and if you look at your client task, and a lot of our interface use this concept. So you have a concept of field set, and then you can go to your Kanban project, Kanban card fields, for example. We might have a different one for global, and then you can decide which field you wanna add into. So we had estimated hours before. So if you want to bring those estimated hours in, save it, and then it's going to be showing in your cards. So this is as simple as that. If you want to show some of those additional field in your Kanban.
Perfect. Yeah, and specifically for this one, there's an upgrade consideration. They need to add those new field we showed to the field set for the sorting.
Integration.
Yeah, last
I'm
bit.
just flying by. So billing and financials, we did a few things. So QuickBooks now we sync the receipt file from QuickBooks to Salesforce. So if you had PDF in QuickBooks, we bring those back over. And we have new project mapping on the expense line. You might have heard, and Rosalie might have talked to you about it, but we have a Jira time tracker. So it's a component in Jira where you can log time in client. And for be able to sync projects, we added more options. And so there's a new field. If you don't use it, you don't need to care about this one, but it's we've added a few functionality in that regard. And then what I want to show you is that vendor invoice. We don't show it often, but if you didn't know that you can, for example, if you have external consultant working or external resources working on your project, you can use our vendors and you can use create vendor bills to create vendor invoice. And what a vendor invoice is, it's some hours that those external resources have logged. And now you can easily, right from here, select which vendor you want to search for. And now it's going to only return those two vendors. And we've had, and in our case, there's only a few, it doesn't really matter, but a lot of you that are using that functionality, you have a lot of extra vendors, so it's difficult to search. So now it's going to be easier. And you even can do some filtering right from here. So some search, so it's going to highlight which one, and you can easily clear it. So for those of you that are using this interface, it's going to be really a game changer in terms of usability and how fast you can go to generate your invoice for your external consultant.
Yay. All right. I think that's what wraps up 51.3, and I'll just pull a quick little poll because we're just curious always. We are curious, Yannick and myself, but also the rest of the team, especially the product team. Curious to know, like, of all the things we presented in 51.3, are there some of them that you're really excited to try out? So I'll leave the poll on the side and continue with the rest of the presentation. So all right, just a quick reminder, the version 51.3 currently is not yet available. As of next week, it will be available in beta, which means you can upgrade to it, but it will be generally available on April 15, mid-April. You can already look at all the release notes though, and review that and decide in advance game plan what you're gonna start using or not. And okay, so I have the poll. Next thing, quick reminder, the roadmap. As always, you can look at the roadmap from our community. Check what we're working on. Again, all those emojis of which one are ideas, which one not. That one is available in the new community as well. It's the same than the old one. And I think one thing we wanted to just touch on before we finish the webinar, Yannick, was agents. So we will have a press release coming next week talking a little bit more about agents. And actually our next webinar on April 23rd will be fully dedicated to agents. So 51.4 will come later in May. So we'll talk about that in the webinar after, but April 23rd will be on agents. Is there anything, Yannick, you can already share with us about agents?
Yeah, you had a few sneak peek, I would say, of what we're releasing for next week. We're gonna be next week in Utrecht in the Netherlands for the Agent Force World Tour. This is where we're gonna do some of the press release. We have a booth there, so if any of you are in Europe, in the Netherlands or Benelux or even the UK, and you want to come and say hi, we have a booth on the April 1st. We're also throwing a happy hour the day before on 31st. So please reach out if you want to come. You are all invited. This is April 1st, but also on April 29, we're going to be in New York. So if any of you are in New York on April 29, there's another Agent Force World Tour, and we're also going to be there with a booth again that time. And we're looking for the Toronto one in May, 7th of May, where we're also thinking of having a booth. So yeah, let's wait for next week for some nice announcements.
Oh, that was the slide. You just sneaked it in like that. All right. So yeah, let us know in the chat or reach out to us afterwards if you can make it to any of those events. And then I'm just gonna launch the very last poll. We want to know, as always, how did you like the webinar, if you liked it or not, especially if this is your first time joining the webinar, let us know what you think. As always, I invite you to register to the next webinar, April 23rd. We'll send a follow-up email. I'll send a follow-up email with all the links to the new community in case you missed it in the chat and everything we talked about, and link to the recording and all that fun stuff. And otherwise, I hope to see you all on the next webinar, and go check out that new community. Yannick, anything you want to add?
Yes, please try the community.
Yeah.
We've built that future hub for you. This is part of the offering. It's included with your license price. The idea is to make your life easier, simpler. You have ways to reach out to us in terms of the documentation just by leaving comments. You can reach out and create ideas and vote on ideas, and you can see we're developing fast and we are delivering a lot of those. So please test it, go around, try it out. Try Clara as well, because for every case Clara can spend helping you, then the rest of the team can work on building other cool stuff. So please use Clara as much as possible. She's improving every week. The documentation is better. If you have problem, tell us. We're gonna improve her. So this is the mode we are in. We are continuously improving all our processes. So and our agents. So please give us some feedback. Exciting times.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.